Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, this looks terrible. How's everyone doing out there? I gotta do something about the lighting. Holy shnikes. That is bad. Well, this is a first on this computer, so I thought I had everything figured out, but good lord, this is terrible. Let me just do a couple of things here. While I got you guys here. So what is going on out there in TV land? How is everyone doing? Yeah, this camera is bad. It doesn't normally look this bad. Maybe it's the lighting, or maybe it's just me. Ah, it's just me. It's just me. All right, let's try a few things. Let's try a few things here. Can I dim this? Thank you all for coming to my experiment. Appreciate it. All right, let's get spooky here. So what do we want to talk about today? Anybody got anything interesting to talk about? I got a few things. I'm wondering why my chat is not showing up on the side here. Again, welcome to the experiment. Let me try a few more things here. Yeah, that's the same thing. Well, I'm not gonna. You guys are gonna have to deal with my my terrible quality of my camera. Is there a massive delay here? Is anyone out there? Can anyone tell me if there's a massive delay? I really need to know. Please. I'm just gonna try one more thing with the camera setup, and hopefully it's I can figure it out. Just one short thing here. What's going on here? Again, this is a new PC setup, so I guess things like this are gonna happen. I don't know. No delay. Perfect. Thanks, Bobby Smith. Appreciate it. I can't seem to find my my Logitech software right now. Anyway, I'm just gonna roll with it. I'm just gonna do the thing. All right, we're gonna break into the news here. I really wanted to get this looking a little better, but I'm not sure why it's like this. Can you hear me pretty good? I'm not too low. All right, I think I got the chat box working. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Actually, I don't need to do that. We're almost there. We're about to talk about the things I actually want to talk about. One of which is a newly announced. I guess it's definitely a strategy RPG, and if you're looking at the thumbnail, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Square Enix. It was part of the State of Play. Almost there, guys. I swear and I promise, almost there. All right. Almost. We got it! Yeah! Yeah, boys! Alright, cool. Alright. So yeah, this is the Switch RPG show with hopefully next time the quality is a little bit better. It looks It looks really bad right now, but you guys are gonna have to deal with it. So yeah, it's gonna kind of run as almost like a podcast, but not really, because I'm not bringing this over to an audio version. I might do that in the future. I might bring it over as an audio version, but the problem is I'm kind of reliant, because I'm playing a lot of videos here. Kind of doing, they're not reactions, but you know, you get the idea. So first thing I want to talk about is Eiyuden Chronicles Rising. This is a prequel to Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes. This was a very popular Kickstarter. So Eiyuden Chronicles Rising debut gameplay trailer. IGN had the first look of the Eiyuden Chronicles Rising. In it, the game's community manager guides fans through 28 minutes of footage. Now, we're not going to watch the whole 28 minutes of footage, but I just want to kind of get a sneak peek of it. This is our first real look at the town-building action RPG, which takes place in the same world as Eiyuden Chronicle, 100 Heroes, which is what I was just saying. So they've included some information about the game, so we'll just read this really quick. Eiyuden Chronicle is a town-building action RPG set in the same world as Eiyuden Chronicle. It weaves together the pre-war tales of various characters who will eventually become your companions in Eiyuden Chronicle. The game will introduce a portion of Eiyuden Chronicle's cast of characters in an original story with thrilling action and engaging town building elements. There might even be some small perks for players that link the game with Eiyuden Chronicle. Now, with Eiyuden Chronicle, this it is very similar to what Suikoden is. If you're familiar with Suikoden series, it's very similar to that. In fact, there are some developers and composers. A lot of the team of the former Suikoden series are also in this Eiyuden Chronicle. So it's got the same aspect of kind of a lot of characters in this one turn-based RPG. But with the popularity, they were actually able to get this prequel going. Again, it's an action RPG. It is very different, but I did want to take a look at it here really quick. I want to make sure the audio is coming through, and it doesn't seem like it is. So I'm going to pause this for a second. It's an ad anyway. That desktop audio should be coming through, and it is not. Man, gotta love it. Gotta love it. Ran through this with no problems. And yet here we are. Okay. Well, looks like I'm not going to be able to figure this out right now. I'm going to try, though. There is some talking here, and this is not going so well.
Guide to this exclusive look.
There we go.
Chronicle 100 Heroes was the top-funded Kickstarter game of 2020 and set to release in 2023. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising is a companion game that serves to weave together.
All right, so we have the manager speaking there. I'm just gonna up-res this here because 480p is a thing of the past. But let's take a look at some of the gameplay here. It's a side-scrolling. Now they say town-based. I haven't really watched this in its entirety, so I've yet to see that. But I definitely see the action side-scrolling here. I'm very interested in seeing what the town building is. Typically, I'm not a fan of them, unless it's something like town building, like say Ys 8. I like the way they went about town building, where it almost feels like you're progressing a character in itself. But I'm not sure what they're doing in terms of town building in here. So for anyone watching at the moment, is this something that's kind of on your radar? Is this something you've heard of before? Something you're interested in? Let me get this bigger screen, because that's kind of tiny, right? That's really small. Maybe that's a little better. I don't know if I don't want to go full screen right now, because I don't know what that's going to look like. I think I will I'll refine this process at some point. So this is kind of just my second time doing this format. So let's see if we can get where the town building is. Right now we're just in a volcanic area. Does it have full VO? Oh, great. Another ad.
Just don't say I
Anyway,
didn't warn
so yeah,
you.
I'm just curious if everyone's heard of Eiyuden Chronicle. It's definitely something that's been on my radar, especially because I backed the original project, which may or may not even see the Switch. Alright, let's see if we can get some town building area. I do like the parallax scrolling that's going along here. You can see the background. There's different like kind of like layers here. I think that's really, really cool. I'm not sure who has taken charge of the development. I don't know if it's the exact same development team as Eiyuden Chronicle, as well as the composer. I'm not entirely sure. But they all look happy. They all look very happy. So that's Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. That will be coming out this year. I don't know if there's actually a time. It definitely is coming out this year. Eiyuden Chronicle, not so much. That's going to be a 2023 release here. I'm not going to go into the comments because sometimes they can be really, really bad. But let's take a look at some other stuff here. Another one I wanted to talk about is Coromon. This is actually coming out in the next week or so. This is a kind of a Pokemon-like clone, we'll call it. Let's read it here. Publisher Freedom Games and developer Tracksoft have issued a new battle system featurette for Coromon, their modern monster taming game. Fans can learn much about the title's battle system, boss fights, and other mechanics. Here's everything you need to know about Coromon. Embark on an adventure alongside a squad from more than 120 different Coromon, battle through the classic RPG campaign, and stop a shady organization from the devastating world. So it kind of goes on and on. So it really gets into the battle mechanics. Let's take a peek here. I did watch some of this.
The Coromon
it's very,
battle
very
system is such that it can be broken down into several aspects, including Coromon stats, traits, and skills. Now, Coromon stats and traits were covered in our Coromon customization video, so today we're going to be primarily focusing on the stamina system, which is one of the stats that we did gloss over in that video, the various skills that Coromon could learn, and we'll even be discussing the game's multi-phase boss battles and PvP. So for starters, stamina points, or SP for short, are what is required to execute any given skill. Typically speaking, better skills will require more stamina, while skills that may still be useful but have less devastating effects will take less. When your Coromon
one of the things I've seen, and they're going to go over in a little bit, there are different stages in the battle, which is really, really cool. Because one of the things I wanted to look at was, like, how does this separate itself from what we already know, what we know in terms of, you know, Pokemon? And that is definitely one of the things I think they kind of really are focusing on. They're focusing on the battle system and, you know, how it could be a little bit different. I like the environments here. This is a little, you know, we kind of see this with Pokemon, but I do like the way it's laid out here in terms of its angle and all that stuff here. So let's continue to watch.
Runs out of stamina, you have the option to rest to recover half the total amount, or you could also do this at any given time to gain the strategic advantage. Skills are the moves that are executed via your stamina usage. Skills can be broken down into three main categories, being physical, special, and status. Physical skills utilize the Coromon's attack stat, special skills utilize its special attack stat, and status skills cause non-damaging effects, including but not limited to raising one's own stats, lowering the opponent's stats, creating a field effect, and causing a negative status effect on the foe. Titan bosses, who act as the game's major roadblocks, also follow this system as well, but are more challenging to face. Titans have a larger stamina pool, more powerful attacks, and even have multiple phases where they introduce an even greater challenge when in a pinch. These types of effects can include causing a negative field hazard for the player, calling in backup, and more. Taking the knowledge you've acquired from all of our short guides thus far, you can tackle the PvP scene either as a casual battler or on the competitive ladder. Finding the highest potential Coromon and understanding how stats, skills, traits, and stamina all go hand in hand will be crucial to your success.
So yeah, that's coming March 31st in a couple weeks. It'll be here. Again, is this something that you guys are going to be looking into? Is the Pokemon craze, is it finally going away? Or is it here to stay? I like what Pokemon is doing currently. I like how they've kind of taken a different path as opposed to what the traditional Pokemon, the monster taming thing. A lot of people still do miss the gyms. They miss the random battles. I don't know how anyone can miss the random battles, to be honest with you. But again, Coromon, keep that one on the radar. What else do we have to talk about today? What was this here? Dot hack. Dot hack is actually something I was interested in. Let's see if I can get a better view here. So this is the Nintendo store here. $49.99 for dot hack. Now I'm not sold on this. I'm not very familiar with it. I don't know if anyone who's watching is very familiar with it, but $49.99 seems like a big ask for this. Let's see if we can pull up no, that's not what I want to do. I was hoping they would show a trailer here. But is dot hack something you're going to be getting? This is out today, yesterday, a few days ago. We're looking to put a preview up on the channel at some point. I kind of wanted to go into this a little bit more, but I'm gonna avoid it right now. I'm gonna avoid it because I actually want to get to this. Advanced Wars, delayed kind of indefinitely. I'm assuming they're going to be coming back to this at some point. Nintendo of America has tweeted this afternoon that they have decided to postpone the release of Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, which was due to be released next month. Nintendo says the delay is due to recent world events, which is clearly a reference to the ongoing invasion of Ukraine by Russian military forces. The Kyoto-based company says it will announce a new release date for Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp when the time is right. So you can see there is the tweet here. In light of recent world events, we have made the decision to delay Advanced Wars 1 and 2, which was originally scheduled to release on the Nintendo Switch on April 8th. Please stay tuned for further updates. What are your thoughts? What do you guys think about this? I mean, I was not into the game anyways. I didn't like the way it looked. I wasn't a major fan of the the appearance of it. It looks too plasticky, too cartoony for me. Even the battle system, it looked like a mobile game, to be honest with you. So I mean, I'm not displeased by this. I understand. I believe it was them as well that during 9/11, way back in 2001, they had another game that was also delayed. I believe that's the case. So for whatever reason, they have a lot of problems with their release date. So Ubicore asks, thoughts on Xenoblade Chronicles 3 announcement trailer on Beyond Hyped? As am I. I am so beyond hyped. Now, okay, so there are two different parties here, one of which prefers Xenoblade Chronicles, one of which prefers Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I am in the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 camp, okay? I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the battle system for the first one. I believe it's I know they made improvements on it, and I appreciate that, but I couldn't wrap my head around it. It just felt dated to me. It felt clunky. Whereas in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, man, that combat felt so smooth for me, and it almost felt, and I say this all the time, it felt like a rhythm game once you got everything. And it does take a while to get all your blades lined up, all the moves properly, and then once you start building your bubbles and bursting them, man, it felt so good. Loved it. And again, like you had said, Ubicore, I do like the story. I just watched a video on the story, to be honest with you. I love the story. I just couldn't get past the combat. And you're right, Torna is probably the best. It really just takes the best aspect of the combat and it makes it even better. And at some point, I do want to play that for the channel. There's just so much to play right now. feel like everyone's backlog is just so full, as mine's is. I mean, I can't even get to it right now. But Torna, yes, I agree. It is probably the best, and I think that's probably the direction they're gonna go with Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And I actually do want to do kind of like a deep dive into 3 and kind of speculative type of stuff. With a lot of the tweets that the Nintendo accounts have had, and also some Instagram posts, some other stuff that they kind of. I just want to meld it all together and kind of put something out there, and just kind of like a more speculative video. I think that would kind of be interesting. But I am beyond ready for that game. It just looks so nice. I when I was watching the trailer initially, I had an inkling it was Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but also in my mind, I'm like, Monolith Soft had kind of just blown up in terms of their size and studio in there, and I thought they had a lot of separate studios working on separate things, and they do. I know they have studios working on Breath of the Wild and some other projects. I just thought they were working on a totally bigger budget game as well, and I thought it was not Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Because if you go back in time, maybe about 3-4 years ago, we had some concept art leaking, and it looks nothing like what we're seeing in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So, I mean, maybe potentially they're still working on something, but we'll see. Ubicore, I really hope they take inspiration from the Torna system with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but yeah, I look forward to that video, and I will need to do something. I got to do something about that. There were rumors about another game, and again, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the concept art looks nothing like what we saw in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So fingers crossed. Maybe they're still working on something, but I guess time will tell. So yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Man, if you're a fan of RPGs, especially on the Switch, and another thing that really blew my mind was that it's coming out this year. Was not expecting that at all, and that's partly due, or probably due, to the fact they're working on the same engine as Xenoblade Chronicles. Not Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but Xenoblade Chronicles. So it's almost like they're mixing maybe the combat of Torna and Xenoblade Chronicles engine. I think that's what caused it, or how it made it so like it's coming out this year. So yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that's probably going to be my next big purchase, because for the Switch anyways. Because I don't think Breath of the Wild is coming out this year. I think it's going to be a March 2023 title, fingers crossed. I don't think that's coming out this year. And in terms of the outlook as what's coming out for RPGs on the Switch, we can do a quick once over here. We'll head over to Deku Deals. This is kind of a site to just get a really kind of good look at what is on sale, but I also use it to see what's coming out as well. So I have it sorted by RPGs only and reverse order of release date. So we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which I'll do at some point. I'm not going to go into it right now, but I am kind of excited because it's someone told me, and I haven't looked into it, but someone told me this is kind of based in Portugal. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I was told. So we'll save that for another day. Gundam has its place. I think that's a very niche title. Sea of Stars, while it's not a AAA title, Sea of Stars looks freaking fantastic. No Man's Sky, I don't even think that's an RPG, so we'll just take that out. Live Alive is... I like the fact that this was formerly just a Japanese release, now coming to the States. I love the fact that a lot of people are going to experience this in the HD 2D art style. I don't know much about it other than, again, we weren't able to play it and it was translated over. But so again, I'm not terribly familiar with it, but it looks really, really good. Fire Emblem Three Hopes. I was about to say Three Houses. Also, kind of a surprise, but it seems like a kind of a cut and paste type of thing. I like what the Warriors series is doing in terms of their progression. Like Pokemon, the Warriors projects have also kind of progressed as well. You saw it with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity and the Persona one. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but they're really integrating their story with their with their games, and I absolutely love the fact that they're doing that because it makes it more interesting. While Age of Calamity kind of, you know, I don't want to spoil it too much, didn't really mesh well with Breath of the Wild. I just like that story factor, you know. Oh, let me just take a peek here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yubiko, believe it or not, I'm actually more excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 than Breath of the Wild 2. You know what? I am as well, and I think that's because we really haven't seen much of Breath of the Wild 2. Once we see a little bit more, although, again, with Breath of the Wild 2, it does feel like a little bit of the same as to what's going on with the original. You know, there isn't much change there. Maybe they added floating islands, things like that. So, and that's probably why we got Skyward Sword as an HD release to kind of remind us that, all right, this is the beginning, and this is Breath of the Wild 2 might be the end, so to speak. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope Sea of Stars gets a physical release. I believe I heard that they will. I'm also a backer on that as well. I think they were talking about a true physical release in terms of outside of Kickstarter. So, you know, time will tell on that. Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition. I had a conversation with a friend of mine regarding this game, and he absolutely adored this game. And I just told him flat out, like, this game did not age well at all. And you know, what this game has going for it is the music aspect of it. The music aspect is good. Again, I don't feel like this game ages well. It does have its audience, but that's, you know, that's not for me. Yeah, Ubicore, are you talking about the Chrono Cross? Is that what you're talking about? One play for the music alone? Because that's exactly what I was talking about. He was saying, you know, he remembers fondly the music, and I'm like, that's all you remember because it wasn't a great game. It really, again, that's just my opinion. Crystar. So there's a major gap here. So there's a lot to fill in. So let's go back to where we are now. You are here. So we have Crow King coming out tomorrow. Dark Deity, which I might actually stream this after we're done here. I might stream Dark Deity or Triangle Strategy. I'm not sure. But Dark Deity is kind of like a Fire Emblem. Your Nintendo Fire Emblem. Or not Nintendo, but GBA. That sort of Fire Emblem. With a better coat of paint. Well, I might stream this a little bit later. I'm not entirely sure. But okay, so we have March 17th. So here's our month of March. Then we have April. Again, not too bad. June. It just gets June to July. You know, there's some big gaps in here. I think Nintendo needs to fill. Then you got Xenoblade Chronicles 3 September. Not only is this coming out this year, like if it was to come out, I would expect it like maybe Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out, you know, in December. But no, this is a full month ahead of time. It's crazy, but yeah, there needs to be some filling in here. It's a little thin, like the top of my head. Yeah, Chrono Cross. Again, that is Chrono Cross is just really known for its music. The gameplay is kind of secondary. At least that's what I think, anyway. All right, let's get back to the topic here. So Advance Wars 1 and 2. It's really unfortunate for people who really did want to see it. But I mean, I guess they don't really want to be associated with this game it's kind of an invasions, you know, they don't want to be associated with that. So they'll delay it, you know, with the way things are going on now. Who knows when they'll come out. When the time is right, they'll know what to do. All right, so Famitsu's Most Wanted game. If you're not familiar with Famitsu, it's a Japanese, kind of like your Kotaku, your IGN, really really well known. So they have Famitsu's Most Wanted games I think it's for the current time. So this could go out, stretch way out. And you've for the last, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years, you've seen a lot a lot of Nintendo Switch titles. Now, typically you'll only see Nintendo Switch and PlayStation. Hopefully, with the way Xbox is going, you'll start to see them kind of catch up with the JRPGs. But typically, they don't really have a market in Japan. So, for the most part, you're going to see Nintendo Switch and PlayStation titles. So, we have Final Fantasy 16, which I know nothing, absolutely nothing about. Next, after that, is Bayonetta 3. That is actually surprising, considering we have gotten very little to nothing regarding Bayonetta 3. So there's a want and need for that. Again, not really an RPG, but kind of exciting for a lot of people. Dragon Quest X Offline. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is still only in Japan. Can anybody confirm that for me? Or maybe we can kind of just take a pick here. I thought this was still only in Japan, but let's see here what Nintendo Life here has. Dragon Quest X Offline has been delayed until summer 2022. Due to arrive in Japan, okay, on the 26th of February. So yeah, I think this is still very much a Japan exclusive. So unfortunate, if you're not familiar, this is kind of their MMO. Would have been nice if that had been here. But yeah, people are waiting for it. Splatoon 3, do not underestimate the popularity of Splatoon at all. People adore and love this game. Breath of the Wild 2, I'm not shocked. I would think this would be up a little further. But that goes to the point of, I'm sorry, I think it was Ubicorp that said, you know, he's more excited about Xenoblade Chronicles than he is Breath of the Wild 2. Notice you don't even see Xenoblade Chronicles until the 20th, which this is the biggest surprise here, considering this game is coming out this year, and where it falls in line with all of these games, I would expect this to be at least top 5 or 6. You know, you got Kirby, which is coming out really shortly. Yushiro, which again, this is actually a very popular game in Japan as well. So you got to remember the audience here as well. This is Japanese. But this is a turn-based game. I think this is only. Is this getting a? This says it's canceled. It's not canceled. I'm not sure if this was getting a localization for the West. Turn-based. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a horror RPG, which there are barely any horror RPGs. I bet we could list them all in like 10 minutes. Pragmata is another one. PS5 though. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So we have a DLC to Monster Hunter, which I understand Monster Hunter is very, very popular. I get it, but man, more popular than Xenoblade Chronicles 3? I don't know, man. I don't know. Live Alive. Yeah, again, this was a Japanese exclusive to begin with. Forspoken, 13 Sentinels of Aegis Rim. This has already been released on the PlayStation. So again, to see this way up here is shocking. Star Ocean 6. This is going to be a really good one. I'm actually excited for this. If I had a PS5, I'd be all over this. So Fire Emblem Three Hopes, and number 20, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You have got to be kidding me. How is that so far down the list? How is that so far down the list? I mean, that is next to Metal Max. I mean, okay, we haven't had a Metal Max in a while, but I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Unbelievable. So that's what Japan is kind of excited for. What are you guys looking forward to? Anything on that list? I mean, really? I don't know. I just don't. I don't agree with the list, to be honest with you. I'm gonna take care of one housekeeping thing here. Behind the scenes. Do you agree with that list? Because I I kind of agree. Like I said, the top 5 or 6 kind of makes sense. But after that, ain't good. It is not good. Alright, this was actually supposed to be... I'm having like all sorts of problems with this right here. All right, I just want to put this out on Twitter. Give me a second if you can. I would have thought it would have been there, but it ain't there. It is not there. Sorry, this needs to happen. It is not there. Sorry, this needs to happen. Join us on YouTube. Sorry, or the join us on YouTube. Sorry, or the join us, and then maybe we'll have a few more people joining us here. Join us, and then maybe we'll have a few more people joining us. There we go. All right, so that's done. Great. So, yeah, do you guys agree with this list here? Do you guys agree with having Xenoblade Chronicles 3 basically omitted from this? You know, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is basically not even on this list. And that makes me sad. That makes me very sad. Okay, let's see what we got next. So that was Famitsu's Most Wanted. So this is Dark Deity. This is the game I was talking about, and I think potentially I might I might stream a little bit later on. Let's take a quick peek. That's not what I want. So this is some early game footage, and I actually I should have already had this out, but I basically read the embargo incorrect. So we're gonna give this guy a like here on Nintendo.
If you love playing classic all-time arcade games
on, bro.
like Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Joust.
Yeah, it is very much like Fire. It's basically Fire Emblem, but little modernized. Like I said, it's like the Game Boy Advanced or 3DS, that sort of stuff. I don't know what it does to stand out from the crowd, but this launches March 17th, so in a few days this will be out. Let's read the description together. With Dark Deity set to arrive on the Switch this week, some early gameplay has surfaced. The strategy RPG has received 23 minutes of footage. Step into the world of Terrazale and lead soon-to-be legendary heroes in a quest to restore the land fractured by broken oaths, reckless wars, and untamed magic. Definitely sounds like Fire Emblem. Fight back in turn-based battles, manage character relationships, collect dangerous artifacts, and hopefully restore a world torn apart by oathbreakers, warmongers, and wielders of forbidden arcane secrets. So, if that doesn't sound like Fire Emblem, I don't know. I don't know how else we could, differentiate that. So yeah, Dark Deity coming out in a couple days. Recommend it. All right, this is kind of the crux of what I want to discuss today. DioField Chronicle. Is it the DioField Chronicle? It is the DioField Chronicle. Coming in 2022. This is on RPGFan.com. This was broken or shown in a state of play on PlayStation. And there's a lot of questions at first of whether or not this was coming out on the Switch. Mostly because, again, this was on a state of play. And at the end of the trailer, it just showed PlayStation. But in a following press release, which, again, I got, it showed that it was coming out on the Switch. which is really cool. We will certainly watch this together in a little bit. The announcement trailer shares a basic story setup and a brief look at the gameplay. The game takes place during a war between the Trovelt and Shovian Empire and the Rotail Alliance, a third nation. The kingdom of Altane is being drawn into the conflict. So this is being called the Fire Emblem of Square Enix, and when you get to watch it, I think it does a little bit more than what Fire Emblem does, and actually, or Fire Emblem Three Houses, and actually, I think I might prefer this over Fire Emblem Three Houses for a few reasons. One of which is the battles. The battles look like they are a little different and offer more variety than maybe what Three Houses did. With Three Houses, the combat seemed very kind of, samey. It was basically defeat all enemies or get to this point. There was really nothing else to it. And I wish there was more, I wish there was more variety of enemies, variety of combat situations, and it wasn't. It was basically all the same. So I think maybe the DioField Chronicles or Chronicle will do something a little different. I think. I'm not entirely sure. One of the other things I wanted to kind of put out there is that I hope it runs well on the Switch. It is set to come out in 2022. I don't know if that's kind of a universal release, like all at once, or if the Switch will, maybe see a delay. I don't know. Excuse me. The announcement trailer unveiled today provides a first look at the story, a new deeply strategic real-time battle system called Real-Time Tactical Battle. What this looks like to me is real-time with pause. Real-time with pause on a console absolutely sucks. It can get very chaotic if you let it be, or you're going to continuously pause, and at that point it's a turn-based game, which is what you probably should have made it. Real-time with pause with a keyboard and mouse is the ultimate, probably the way to play those real-time with pause games. So we're going to have to wait and see on this one as well about that aspect. So real-time tactical battle, and I think the trailer shows a little snippet of that actual real-time with battle. Told through stunning diorama-style combat scenes, players will assess frontline conditions in real time. Again, this may be an issue. I don't know. I know it's an issue with me, but again, that's just me. Issue decisive orders and use a variety of skills, classes, and equipment to gain the upper hand over their foes. So it does have a really distinct look to it. They call it a diorama. This is not your HD 2D. This is a little bit different. It's not. There's no pixel art in this. There are a couple of things I have an issue with in terms of, they say there's no gameplay footage and not final. Take a peek at when their dialogue is going and their mouths are moving. It looks really bad. So I hope they do clean that stuff up. I do want to get this a little bit bigger here.
And you were so.
Is this really what you want?
And you were certain that what we are doing.
We're going to watch this in its entirety.
Yes. I suppose it would, in a sense. True. Yes. It made me wonder. Am I still that same person?
The era of myths gives way to an era of great turmoil. The continent was ravaged by the devastating war between the Empire and the Alliance. However, one nation remained unaffected by the chaos. The Kingdom of Altane, ward of the August, looked destined to have its soil stained with the blood of battle.
We've finally been called up.
We're up against the Empire's main army.
We are to eradicate every last Imperial who comes ashore.
Keep focused.
Sorry.
Come on, everyone!
All right, so that was actually one of the things I was talking about. This is the real-time battle system, or whatever it is. So you see here, you have your group. Come on, let's get this a little more. So you're setting out your orders, and
Come on, everyone!
and this is what happens generally with real-time with pause, especially with the way I play them. Everyone, like, you see all these characters, right? You have, I'm not sure if my mouse shows up on the screen, but you have the grouping on the left and you group on the right. And so what will happen is they'll all just kind of mob together. So this kind of almost ruins the tactical aspect of it. I mean, granted, the path is narrow to begin with, but this is generally what you see in these types of situations with real-time and pause. They're like, there's always a mobbing or a bunching or a single file line. And you saw that a lot with Pillars of Eternity on the console. A lot of these there are a few other ones that I've played real-time with pause on the Switch. You see that a lot, where they're just kind of bunching up, and it's kind of hard to strategically place orders everywhere when you have this type of setup. So I really hope that there is other options. There's an alternative to have full turn-based mode. So yeah, let's take a peek at what happens here. So again, as you can see, they just kind of all get in each other's way. I mean, I see no tactical advantage to this, to be honest.
And now.
So this is the pausing aspect, which is cool. I like what it
have such
does.
a yearning for war?
But all this could be
can't
really
comprehend it.
accomplished a lot better with turn-based. So again, this is a really kind of cool thing here. Just kind of, these almost look like summons to me. So if you're thinking like a lot of some of the older Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy 7, 9, and 10 maybe, those those big summon creatures come and take over. You can see when he blows down this fiery breath or whatever it is, that you can see all the big damage numbers happen. There's the big damage numbers.
So then.
And then you get to really see the diorama, the world you're playing on. And, Triangle Strategy does a little bit of that as well. So they're taking aspects of a lot of their games and kind of just melding them together.
So then.
Again, you're getting that diorama vibe here.
What shall we do now?
We're going to retake it.
This is our chance while they're all assembled.
Another thing I like, it gets often compared to Fire Emblem. One of the things I really like is the art direction, the art style. It's more of a medieval, I guess you could call it.
We're going to retake
I like that time. Whereas, or like at least the art style too. When you compare it to Fire Emblem, there's armors and stuff like that, but it just doesn't look like this. It's got a unique kind of style, especially with these helmets and whatnot.
Dance while they're all assembled.
And it's got
We should
like
send our
really
best
cool
and crush
particle
them.
effects, the animations. Here's again, it's not a school. Again, we're gonna continue to talk about Fire Emblem. You just can't escape it, right? It's not a school. It's kind of like your
That's right.
battle
All the
team.
more reason to avoid bloodshed.
Or you have that central unit.
It
Central
also
hub.
likely means that we're in danger. I suppose it is the only way for us to survive.
So yeah, that is the DioField Chronicle. One thing it doesn't really show there, it doesn't really give you the, let's go back here. You don't have units, You don't have, like Fire Emblem does, you have it just shows one facsimile of a person, and that person represents a bunch of people. It doesn't look like you have that here. It looks like you have individuals. I thought I lost everything. Sorry. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're doing there. Let's go here. Coming in 2023. Again, does still, even on the debut trailer, it still does not show that it's coming to the Switch, but it is indeed coming to the Switch. I just don't know if it also is coming in 2023 on the Switch. There actually is one other thing that I have for the press release. I'm just gonna give me a second here. I did minimize it, so it might look a little funky. See if I can pull this up here. It's basically, it was from a press kit. It kind of goes over some of the different things here. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up here. Give me 1 second here. Da da da. Bingo. All right, cool. We're going to give this a little gander here. We're going to zoom it in. Can I get rid of this? I can. All right. Yeah. How's that looking? Not looking all right? All right. So this is the DioField Chronicle. I like the artwork. It looks really cool. One thing I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of the name. Maybe I'm a fan of the name. I don't know. Is it? I'm kind of tired of the same font. You know, if you're looking at this, can you see that? It's identical. I mean, it's just a different color. All right, the birth of a new strategy RPG with cutting-edge graphics. An all-new strategy RPG brought to you by Square Enix, combining our skill and experience in crafting great stories with real-time strategic elements. We have created an SRPG that may look familiar at a glance, and I think that what they're referring to is the Fire Emblem effect, but provides something never seen before. This game offers a truly unique experience from both its story and its gameplay. All right, all new simulation RPG from Square Enix, an all new simulation RPG. Okay, that chronicles an epic tale of war and honor, features a unique world depicted using beautiful graphics and that blends fantasy, medieval, and modern day influences, and yet deep, innovative real-time battle system. Again, I don't know if I'm going to be a fan of that, but we'll see. All right, deep strategic real-time battles. The battles in this game are definitely defined by swift assessment of battlefield conditions and issuing decisive orders that take advantage of your troops. Okay, so maybe there are troops there. Troop strengths and weaknesses to gain advantage over your foe. Make clever use of a variety of skills, classes, troop types, and equipment to attack the enemy and complete your mission. So the realistic diorama style battle scenes is kind of what we saw on the video. So here we go, product outline. Simulation RPG, it's a strategy it's a strategy RPG. Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, blah, 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 release date 2022. So it doesn't differentiate the Switch, so it could be a worldwide release all at once. I wanted to just kind of, that's not shown here. Oh, so Landcars. Landcars. What have they developed? What else have they made? Well, they helped with a game recently, Monarch. Is it on here? It's not on there. Well, I know they help with Monarch. All right, there we go. So there's some games that you might have heard of. Monarch is one, very, very recently. So going back, Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey. Shin Megami Tensei 4. Again, that one people have heard of. Etrian Odyssey. That was recently remade. Correct me if I'm wrong. For the 3DS. So they've worked on some games. Obviously, they're being overlooked by Square Enix, but again, they helped. And again, these are all kind of folks from that studio. Oh, not all of them, but some of them. Oh, right here, concept art. This is kind of the artwork you saw. Kind of this same look and feel as Final Fantasy 12, right? Is that what it said? Yeah, Final Fantasy 12 and 13. We try not to talk about 13. Sound composers. Kind of notable works, Game of Thrones. So they got some creds here. Basic gameplay. DioField Chronicle is a SRPG that tells an epic tale of war and military intrigue, where you struggle for victory alongside numerous different forces. The player will participate in war console events to plan strategy, select missions to tackle, and train their units before taking to the field. So there are units. That's actually good. I like that. So command your troops on the battlefield in real time, events that draw you into the story, prepare for battle. So it's kind of like, as you can see, a cyclical thing. Numerous events that draw you into the story. Rumor, intrigue, the fires of war, human drama, and the histories of a unique cast of characters are depicted through an amazingly detailed event scenes that draw you into the world and story of DioField. One thing we don't know is if there are not multiple endings, but multiple avenues, if there's permadeath, things of that nature. I think as we get closer, we'll certainly see that. This is kind of what we're talking about. Now, numerous events that draw into the story. So you got the narration sequences, kind of like illustrative type of thing. Briefing scenes where the current tactical situation outline of the coming operations are explained on a tabletop map and the important flow, events, and in the interactions between the characters. So the HQ is kind of what I was talking about. Instead of a school like we had in Three Houses, we have the HQ. Kind of, this is where, I guess this is the main character. Andreas can be controlled freely and talk to members of the mercenary company, enhance your units and their equipment, and prepare for the next mission. So there's some free roam. I don't know if you can build relationships like you can in Three Houses. That hasn't been determined yet. So this is HQ here, purchasing and developing weapons. I wish I could zoom that in a little more. Let's take a look at these types of weapons. Can't really tell. Obviously, you can see sword. These look like kind of a... I don't know what that is. What is this? Not sure. I don't know. But there's also a skill tree. Units can be enhanced using commendations. Each different unit can learn a different type of skills, prepare them for battle. Cool. Now, so HQ kind of looks like you do have units. Unit is made up of a leader and adjutants, with the leader determining the overall status. So that answers one of the questions I had. I thought it was just kind of just one individual, and it's not. It's like Fire Emblem. You do have units, and you have that kind of facsimile, which is really cool. I thought it would be individuals, which I would have preferred, but select a mission to attempt and review the nature of operations. Completing the different victory conditions set for each mission allows you to claim rewards. I obviously I can't read Japanese, but if you go back and watch the video, you can see that one of them was defeat all enemies. Boring. I hope there are different things. Battles play out in real time. Issue orders to the various divisions of the Blue Fox Mercenary Company and complete your mission. Split second tactical decisions are the key to securing victory. I really wish this was in English so I could see that. But battles essentially play out in real time. Select a unit from your army and instruct it to move it or attack in suitable manner. You can also select to issue orders to all units at once, so adapt your commands to the situation at hand. So you can have people kind of lay back, but again, you can see all these people are going in the same area. It sucks. I hate it. I don't like it. Ambush attacks. Use one unit in a defensive role to weather enemy attacks and then maneuver another unit around behind it to attack from the rear. Okay, so it's an ambush attack or backstab or sneak attack, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not going to go too far into the story. You kind of saw that with the trailer. There are 3 different kind of countries that we have going on here, and they're all kind of jockeying for power, essentially. So the setting for the story is the island of DioField. I wish they had put this available for people. I don't know if it is. So we have a little bit of background of some of the folks. I'm not going to go into all of these here. But that's essentially the end here. This is a cool character here. All right, let me switch out of this window. Trying to find out where it was. I lost everything. Sorry, just give me a second here. All right, you're off. You can do it. That's not what I want. That is not what I want. It's not finding my web browser. There we go. Goodness. All right, so we're back to this. And I'm only on this because what I want to talk about, another one of the main topics here, and we're going to kind of close it with this here, is while I'm doing that, we're going to head over to Switchrpg.com. We have a set of articles. Right now we have only 2 parts. There are other staff members that are contributing to this, and I really recommend you guys go and check it out. The 5-year Switch RPG tour. So basically the Switch is turning 5, meaning we have 5 RPGs of the year. Okay, now every year we've done RPG of the year, and we've done it collectively as a group, but we all have our different favorites, that we had voted for. So this here is Rich, but again, part 2. Part 1, I believe, was Ben. Let's take a peek. Did I pass it? Did I pass it? You know what? Why don't I click on Rich's article? I think it'll kind of show me at the end. And what you'll notice, and this is true with anyone really, is we all have different tastes, right? Where the heck is it? Switch turns 5. How about we do that? I'll put this in the description of this video. So again, there's Ben. We're gonna go here. So we are really gonna go back in time. Andy Wolf, nice to see you, buddy. We're going to go back in time. We're going to go 5 years. Okay, so way back in 2017, the Switch was released in March. So we had our release title, Breath of the Wild, which I don't myself consider an RPG. Many people do. So you're going to see this on a lot of lists, and that's okay. That they're wrong. That's fine. So here we go. First and foremost, I knew Rich was going to have this. I haven't read Rich's article quite yet, but I for one knew that he was going to do that. And that's okay. This is his style of games. You're going to notice that he likes a lot of the action RPGs. And Breath of the Wild is certainly one of them. For 2017, this was not my RPG of the year. So he has Blossom Tales and Golf Story, which is a very, very underrated indie RPG. Golf Story. You're gonna want to play that one. That one's a really, really fun game, and you can really find it on sale here. So what is he? This has been here. So he has Disgaea 5 complete. So I have something very different. You know what? So it doesn't look so weird. I'm actually gonna jump on my phone here and pull up my list and just kind of we'll talk about it together. I don't have we also have this review on the channel as well. So also check it out here. You'll see the video there. But I don't want to mess this up. All right. Okay. So he has Disgaea 5 complete for his, and a not so favorite. Here's a Monkey Tavern. Yeah, that is a really disappointing bad game. It's a bad dungeon crawler. So he has Golf Story, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. For the sake of this argument, 2017 was kind of a weak year, and I say that with a grain of salt there, because technically Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was released in 2017, but for most award show, it didn't really get recognized. Not award shows, because Xenoblade Chronicles 2, for whatever reason, wasn't on a lot of award shows. But for a lot of awards, it really was too late in the years, in December of 2017, to really kind of, for people to play through it. So that if we're really going to get technical about it, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was released in 2017. That would be my 2017 game of that year. Otherwise, it would probably be potentially Breath of the Wild, or even Mario plus Rabbids. If you like tactical or strategy RPG, Mario plus Rabbids, again, talk about a game that's always on sale. That is always on sale, and I think it's on sale right now for like $15. Well worth it. Let's take a peek here. Let's see. Rabbids. Mario plus Rabbids. See if I can find the regular. There we go. Regular edition. $18, $15. Don't get it on Amazon. Don't get it at Target. Don't get it at any of these stores. Honestly, get it online. You can get it for $20 online right now. GameStop online. And I thought it was actually on sale. It might have been recently on sale. You can see DQ Deals has a great thing where you can track the sales. So all-time low is $10, physical as well. My opinion, it could be worth $60, but this game, like I said, it goes on sale all the time. Wait for it, get it when it comes. It's always like $15. Get it. It's a great deal at that price. So that's 2017. If you guys are for the folks watching, what is your 2017 game of the year? If you can remember that far. For me, technically, it is, looking back, it is definitely Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But for the most part, it didn't make a lot of those award shows. It didn't even make ours, because it just, we couldn't play it in time enough to put it on the list. So Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is my game. So let's go to 2018. 2018, Rich has a Monster Boy in the Cursed Kingdom. He has Octopath Traveler as an honorable mention, and The Messenger. Rich, I don't know if that's an RPG. I'm not entirely sure. But Monster Boy is a really cool, fun game. Rich, I think, actually, he reviewed it himself. So yeah, Monster Boy in the Cursed Kingdom, awesome art style. I actually love it. It's a side-scrolling action RPG. What does close this year? What does Ben have? Ah, yes, Atelier Rorona, the Alchemist of Arland. Ben loves his anime girls. Ben loves Atelier games. He's always requesting to play them. It's hard to really just take it away from him. He just loves it. So I actually never played this. I played Atelier Ryza. I didn't really play 2. I think Ryza was a little more accessible, maybe. You know, it's a little more modern. What did he actually give this game here? He gave it a good. It was his game of the year, and it was good. Come on, Ben, do better. Does he have a not so favorite? Fantasy Hero. Yes, that was another trash game. There's a lot of trash early in the Switch's lifespan. Yeah, not so good. For me, it's gonna be Octopath. Now I talk a lot of bad stuff about Octopath. I talk about how much I dislike the battle system. I talk about how much I really hate the the separate narratives. I don't recall it being sold that way, which is kind of what really surprised me. I absolutely love the art style. Absolutely love the music. The compositions in there are really, really good, really memorable. I will say that the characters are really, really awesome. They just don't acknowledge each other's existence throughout the entirety of the game. Really bothers me. It really bothers me for immersions. I mean, granted, yeah, there are skits, I guess, when you enter a town and they kind of talk to each other. They say a few sentences, but other than that, they don't. But you know, again, I talk about the battle system. It has its moments, but for the most part, I don't have a good time with it. But aesthetically, it looks awesome. It sounds really good, but it does do a lot of other things that I dislike. I also like this Diablo 3 for that year, anyway. In terms of Diablos, there are better alternatives, better options for Diablo, but Diablo 3 is really fun. I played a lot of Diablo. I do like those loot-driven action RPGs, I really do. And Diablo 3 really kind of, I played it on console, I played it on PC a long time ago, and when it was on the Switch, it was really surprising. You know, played it on there as well. So there's a lot of time sunken into those Diablo 3. So I think ultimately I'd have to say Diablo 3. I would have to say that. Andy Wolf, you love Octopath Traveler. I mean, I'm happy for you. I'm really happy for you. So Radiant Historia and Dragon Quest XI. You know what? Dragon Quest XI that wasn't on the Switch at that point. Because actually it comes up in 2019. I think that's when it came out. Let's take a peek here. Again, we're going to head over to DQ Deals just because it's a lot easier. We're going to look up Dragon Quest. Dragon. I'm not having tough time spelling here. Come on. What happened here? Quest. Do I have to go 11 here? XI. So yeah, Dragon Quest XI came out 2019 for the Switch, and it came out with the S prefix. I don't know, because it had a lot of other things going, a lot of additions. You can see the Metacritic score. It's a really great game. And the reason why I know this is because it's on my list for 2019, along with another game. This 2019 was the year to be a Switch RPG fan. It really was. If you go back and look at what was released, man, they had some heavy hitters. So you had Dragon Quest XI S, The Elusive Age, which is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal game. They even have an option where you can go back. You can play pixel art if you wanted to. It's a really great experience. The music is they redid the music. Awesome game. And it's a complete edition. Does it say definitive edition? It really truly is a definitive edition. It has the best of everything. And this was ultimately ported over to the other consoles as well. But it was first on the Switch. And again, 2019. After that, 2019, let's go back. You had Fire Emblem. Again, 2019 was the sweet spot. So you had Fire Emblem in July. So you had September was Dragon Quest. July, you had Fire Emblem Three Houses. Again, this was the year to be a Switch fan. It really truly was. But again, even saying Dragon Quest XI, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I still did not choose either one of these as my RPG of the year. That's because this game is my all-time favorite RPG ever. It is my all-time favorite RPG ever. I do play it on this channel. It is one of my favorite games ever. I've played it through a few times, and this came out September 4th, 2019. Again, you can see the Metacritic. I'm not alone in this, obviously, but it is and one of the things that really surprised me about this game is it runs really well. It may not have the graphical fidelity as PC, no doubt about it, or even on Xbox, which is also where I played it. I played on PC as well as Xbox. It doesn't have that, you know, graphical fidelity, but it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all, and it runs really well. I didn't have any issues. Actually, I'm lying. I had an issues with the audio on my Let's Play, but that was user error. That was not because of the game. Larian, dev team, and I, we worked kind of through it. It was ultimately it was my fault with some stupid settings on my end. But this, if you're at all into strategy or tactical based RPGs and a tabletop or Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, all that stuff, if you're a fan of all of any of those things, this is what you're going to want to play. And with their upcoming release of Baldur's Gate 3, I cannot wait to play that as well. But this is the game of the year of the Switch for me in general. This is the game for everything. This is my RPG of ever. So 2019 was a magnificent year for the Switch. Magnificent. What do these guys have? Probably something really bad. Romancing Saga. Okay, so we had some a port over. I think it was a port, right? Yeah, it might have been port. Oh, all right. Let me just go over 2019 again. A year I don't think we'll ever see again. So we have these three I see up here. I want to see when Dragon's Dogma. What an underrated game. I don't see a lot of people talking about this game much at all. 2019, Dragon's Dogma. If you like the action RPGs akin to like The Witcher, or even Dark Souls, you know, you're gonna like this game. 78 Metacritic. It's got what is U? Is that the user rating? I'm not entirely sure what they have here. Fantastic game, really really good. Another one we're gonna want to look at is I think it's Atelier Ryza. I talked about this earlier. This is the deluxe edition. I don't know, it'll be different. Here we go. 2019. 2019 was the year, man. It really was. So The Witcher. How can I even forget that? The Witcher. I had spent so much time in that. I just didn't want to play through it again. But The Witcher also came out in 2019. Tangle Deep. If you're a fan of pixel art, I think this is. I'm pretty sure this is a turn-based game. Along Shadows of Adam is definitely an indie RPG, turn-based pixel art. Dragon Quest Builders 2, I'm not a total fan of, but again, that's a big hitter. That is a massive, massive hitter. But we have Romancing Saga. Not for me, but, you know, that's what he chose to do. Not, Feudal Alloy. I love the look of this game. It just plays absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Did I skip 2018? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I said Xenoblade Chronicles, I said Octopath and Diablo. But 2019 was the year, man. 2019 was the year. What does Rich have for his 2019? Yeah, Dragon Quest. Astral Chain. Bam! Oh my god! Oh my god! Astral Chain! Astral Chain is a freaking awesome game. If you like Bayonetta, this is it says genre action here. That's RPG, man. That's an RPG all day. And it is a freaking phenomenal game. Looks awesome. Like, you want to see the Switch's hardware optimized, you're going to look at Astral Chain. That's not what I want. Like, it looks really cool. Watch some videos on this. If you're at all hesitant about it, watch some videos on this. The combat is freaking awesome. Really, really cool. What you can do with them. I forget what they're called. What are they called? I forget. Legions. Yeah, some cool stuff, man. 87 Metacritic. You know, I mean, I'm not alone in thinking that's a really great game. So he's got an honorable mention there. All right, 2020. What did I hit on any of your guys? Yeah, Rich. He agrees. He wrote it. R.L. Cooper, Rich, what's going on? Astral Chain is definitely a sleeper hit, but 2019, man, there was just way too much. There was so many goods. You could see it. Dragon Quest XI, Fire Emblem, Divinity, Astral Chain, Dragon's Dogma, Atelier Ryza. There are probably even more. I know that Ben on Switchrpg, he mentioned almost all of them. I didn't even mention The Witcher 3. I mean, like, are you kidding me? I mean, some of them are ports like Dragon's Dogma and Witcher 3, but I mean, even I think Dragon Quest Builders a port too. But what a freaking great year that was. Let's go to 2020. 2020, in my opinion, 2020 was weak. It was very, very weak. I think the overall consensus at the site, at Switchrpg, was one game. And I don't know if... probably not for Ben. Let's see what he's got. Rune Factory. Of course he has Rune Factory. So Rune Factory 4 for Ben. Like 2019, 2020 was stacked for Switchrpg fans. Arafel, if you're familiar with the game that recently came out, Rise of the Third Power, Arafel, same developers. Project Warlock. This is actually a really good sleeper. If you're at all into dungeon crawlers, this is one to take a peek at. Let's see if I can show you. Definitely a sleeper. Definitely a sleeper here. Screenshots. Looks like Doom. Plays a little bit better than Doom, but you know. What else does he mention here? Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. That didn't even make my honorable mention. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It did. It did make my honorable mention. It is a good game. Story-wise, narratively, it is a great game. Combat-wise, it leaves a lot out there. It is way too clunky, way too slow. It shows its age with its combat. But that's definitely one to play. If you're an RPG fan on the Switch, you're going to want to play the Xenoblade Chronicles series. And I can't wait for them to bring X over when that ever happens. All right, let's see. 2020 for Rich. He says Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I know he loves this game. I know. Immortal Phoenix Rising. Again, kind of a sneaky one there. I'm gonna agree with that. For Breath of the Wild fans, I think this does a little bit more in terms of RPG elements than Breath of the Wild. One thing I disliked about this game, it is a Ubisoft game. So you saw with me just typing this in here, Immortals DLC, Season Pass, Gold Edition, Lost Gods, credits. That bothers me. The microtransactions bothers me. Another thing that bothered me in this was the writing. It was kind of cheesy. The comedic beats, because it tried to be funny, the comedic beats did not land for me. But in terms of combat, it's there. In terms of an open world, because it's an open world game. In terms of really exploring that world, it's there. But it misses narratively. It misses with it being a Ubisoft game and what it does, with its DLC, with its credits and this and that and the other thing. I mean, it's optional stuff, right? You don't have to do it, but it just feels slimy to me. And like with all Ubisoft games, wait for it to come out a week later. Then you can buy it, because a week later it went on sale for $50, and it's continuously on sale. You can buy that fairly cheap now. All-time low, like these are really, really low. I don't know that you'll see them that low, but you'll see it. You see it there, right? $29.99. You'll see it in that $30 range quite often. You're not seeing that right now, but I still would play it. It is a good play. It's just not for me. It misses on a few other things, and Ubisoft does some really kind of dirty things for me. Crosscode is, again, that's a port over. Glad we got that one. I actually have the special edition behind me. Really, really fun game. Really, really long game. I want to say that that's kind of what took me away was its length. I think it's kind of too long. Let's see here. Main story, 35 hours. That's just main story. I think typically you're going to be in between 35 and 50. It's somewhere in between. So maybe 40 hours. It's too long. It's too long. It starts to get a little bit repetitive after a little bit. Again, just my opinion. I don't know if you guys have played it. I don't know what you guys think. Like I said, it tends to pretend like it's an MMO, and it does a really good job at that. It's just, it gets really repetitive. And I'm actually playing a game right now that is that same, it feels the same way. They like don't know, they don't know how to end it, basically. And I'm talking about Eastward. They don't know how to end it, so it's almost like it's chasing its tail. And at some point, yeah, it's going to end, but it's like land the plane, guys. Land the plane. You know, short games can really kind of, you know, condensed stories can really be really good. And, you know, when the writing gets too wordy, you start filling it with empty space, and that empty space, it gets reflected on I don't know, busy work, essentially. That's just my opinion. All right. So 2020 was decent. Tokyo Mirage Sessions, not for me. It has its audience, not my kind of game. But Ori Will of the Wisp looks beautiful. Looks really, really beautiful. 2021. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even get into my personal favorite. Yeah, my personal favorite for 2020 was Hades. I really liked, I think for what it is, it's a roguelike. And those, talk about repetitive. They can get repetitive. But the thing of it is with Hades is, in this type of game, it tells a really, really cool story along with it. The art style is really, really good. I never got bored with it. It's a 20-hour game, main story, plus extras. I think 46 hours is pushing it. I don't think it gets that long. It can. I mean, it can go on forever. I mean, depends on how you play it with these types of games. But Supergiant Games, they're the ones who did Transistor. What else did they get? Transistor, Bastion. I wasn't crazy about Bastion, but you know, it's there. Transistor is a good game. Not as good as Hades. Again, that's reflected here. But good nonetheless. It's got a great art style. I like the narrator in it. All these games have great narration. I don't know if they have the same narrator. I know Bastion has you know, that narrator. Transistor has that narrator. Hades has that narrator, but they step it up a notch with Hades. They really do. The combat's tight. It's perfect. It's a really, really good game. What do we have from 2020? Not so favorite. Treachery Beatdown. I remember when Ben was so excited to play this game, and he just did not have a good time with it. 2021. We move on to the year that just passed. Saga Frontier Remastered. Okay, Ben, if you say so. He does love his Saga games. Not for me. Not for me at all. What else did he like? With several successful years now under its belt, expectations were high for Switchrpg scene in 2021. Fortunately, the console continued its tradition of providing a ton of quality content for all types of RPG fans. There were a slew of great releases in 2021. I disagree. I think 2021 was probably the weakest year, along with maybe 2017 is there. If Xenoblade Chronicles 2 did not come out in 2017, 2017 would have been a major bust. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 saved 2017. I think 2021 is on that same level. I think 2021 was a major downfall with obvious reasons. The pandemic was in full swing. You know, we didn't have the development of games were pretty much halted. A lot of what you see in 2021 was a rising of indie games. Their studios are smaller, so they were able to really shine, which is great, which is a really good thing. So indie studios were able to step up, whereas AAA studios, they had delays, and we saw a lot of delays, and that's why 2022 we're seeing a lot more games, especially already in the first 3 months. We're seeing a lot of RPGs on all consoles, on all the consoles. So 2021. So he has Saga Frontier Remastered. I'm not sure when that came out, but he also has Atelier Ryza 2, which I think was incrementally better than the original. Let me see if I can back that up here. Let me see if I can back that up here. Go again, DQ deals. I'm gonna go, Atelier Ryza 2. That's kind of a poo-poo caca here. I want to find the original one. Go that. There it is. All right. So Atelier Ryza, I think, is better. And Ryza 2 is okay. Again, I think it was incrementally better, but the Metacritic, it's about the same. So Metacritic has Atelier Ryza 2 at 80%, an 8.6 user. And Atelier Ryza, the first one, Ever Darkness and the Secret Hideout, has an 84 Metacritic and 8.4 user. So essentially the same thing. But I think narratively and in terms of combat, it's a little bit better. But yeah, Ben went with Saga Frontier Remastered. Also, we had Kingdoms of Amalur, which was a game a lot of people were wanting to see come over to the Switch, to any console. But the Switch, we wanted to see that. And then you had Diablo 2, another port over. So not only was the it was 2021 a year for indie RPGs to be put on a pedestal, it was a year of ports. You see that with Re-Reckoning. You see that with Diablo 2. You also see that with the remastered version here. Again, it's a little more work involved in making a remastered edition, but you also had Legend of Mana, which was not so favored. Again, a lot of these ports came over in 2021, so no, wasn't it great? Excuse me. So yeah, I think 2021 was probably the worst year. Had a lot of RPGs, but none. They were all meh. They were all meh games. What do you have, Rich? Death's Door. Excuse me. Give me a second. Death's Door with honorable mentions of Bravely Default 2, Persona 5, Strikers, and Eastward. So his ultimate favorite was Death's Door, which I'm not familiar with at all, but it took inspiration from the Zelda series, is all you need to tell me about why Rich likes this. Screen is black. Say what? No way. My screen is not black. Darren, can you tell me now if the screen's black? It really shouldn't be. Apologize if it is, but it's not showing up as black now. If it was, I apologize. So Rich says Indies Zelda-like. That's Rich in a nutshell. So yeah, of his honorable mentions, Bravely Default 2, it's actually not bad. I have yet to finish it. I don't know if I will ever, but it was okay. It was good. I think it's better than Bravely Default 1, the original version, or not original version, the first version. Persona 5 Strikers, again, like I said way earlier, the Warriors series, or that type of game, I forget what it's called. That type of game has definitely progressed, especially narratively. You know, I think they've done a great job there. Eastward, love the look of it. The music, Joel Karlitz, the composer, does a freaking fantastic job there. Awesome job. It does get a little long in the tooth, and I can see why he has that in his honorable mention. But that's that, yeah. My favorite for 2021 is going to have to be Diablo 2. It's going to have to be Diablo 2 with an honorable mention of Bravely Default. I just haven't played it, but I played it on the channel, full playthrough of what did I play as? I don't even remember. But I played that game a long time ago. But again, I'm a sucker for loot-driven, loot-based action RPGs. All right, Darren. Thank you. No, not a problem. All right, cool. So Diablo 2, man, it looks really good. It does, obviously, it looks better on console versions, PC, that sort of stuff. But that's okay. I really did like what they did for the Resurrected Edition. Obviously, enhanced graphics. You could actually switch between the old graphics, new graphics, old music, new music, that sort of stuff. The gameplay was tight. I ran into no problems. It ran really smooth. But that gameplay, you know, it just hits me. You know, I just love that loot-based stuff. I really do. So Diablo 2 is probably going to be my 2021. But again, that just goes to show you that I think there's better stuff out there. There's better stuff that could have come out in 2021. It was just delayed with the way the year was. There was just no shot for a lot of these bigger games. A lot of developers, really, even the indie developers, some of them, you know, I know for Eastward, that was also delayed many times because they're based out of China. So I mean, they're in the thick of it. They couldn't do anything at some points. So some people were able to really kind of work through it, work remotely. And when you have those small teams, it's fine. So Diablo 2 is probably going to be my favorite for 2021. 2022. Rich has Pokemon Arceus. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm actually just finishing this one up with my daughter. We're playing along. I thought it would be my son, but he just turned out to be a lazy. They both have it. My son and daughter both have it. My son is just, he fell off the wagon. He just doesn't want to play it anymore. He's onto different things. But my daughter has just picked it up, and she is just cruising through it. She is right at the very end. It's so nice to really get to witness, you know, my Pokemon Yellow or Pokemon Red and Blue. This is their Pokemon Red and Blue. It's just awesome to see it. And I like what Pokemon is doing. They're kind of venturing off into this new path, and you can see it with the new iterations that they're coming out with here. With, is it Scarlet and Violet? I want to get that right. Yeah, Scarlet and Violet. You can see that they're really banking on this this new open world aspect of Pokemon. I absolutely love it. I really enjoy that they're doing this because I've been asking for it for a while. The genre or the franchise itself was just really stagnant, and to see them finally after 30 years, you know, changing things over with the start of Pokemon Go, that's kind of really what pushed them off, I think, the edge there. But it's really nice to see that, and to have this new generation with Pokemon Legends Arceus. And it kind of started with, what was the recent ones that came out? I forget what it was, with the newer ones there. But again, they're older remakes of older games. So with this new Pokemon experience, I think it's just better. It's not as dated, you know, it's not as pigeonholed. There's just so much more they can do. Granted, yeah, there might be problems with Pokemon Arceus, but I like the direction. I really do. speculative favorite. I like this. I think I'm gonna choose something here as well. So here's Live Alive. I think this is gonna be on a lot of people's list for speculative favorites. But I think there's gonna be something else that comes out on the list. I really do. I really think there's something yet to be announced for this year. I have no rumors. I know nothing, but I think that this year is just so empty. There has to be something. But of things that we know, Live Alive is definitely something to really kind of, I think people are going to like it. I mean, it was a favorite in Japan, and all they're really doing is they're HD2 deifying it, and they're bringing that same story over. So I think this is going to be a lot of people's favorite. But as far as what games have come out now, Pokemon Legends Arceus is a really good grab there. Speculative favorite, if released, I don't think this is going to come out this year. I think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is what we're going to get. And they're not going to overshadow Xenoblade Chronicles 3 with Breath of the Wild 2. I think that's going to be another March game. Just like March 2017, Breath of the Wild came out, it's going to be March 2023 for Breath of the Wild. I think that leaves enough time between those releases. Not that they have to worry about it, but you don't want to eat, like, Nintendo doesn't want to eat themselves alive. They don't want to take sales away from other people, from themselves, really. So you got September with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and then March, Breath of the Wild, or maybe early, February, around that time. But yeah, I definitely don't think this is going to come out this year. But yeah, I could see this being definitely on a lot of people's list here. What does Ben have? Does Ben have... So far, he's got Rise of the Third Power. He did do a review on this, as well as I narrated his review on the channel. So if you want, go to Switchrpg.com, look at Rise of the Third Power. These are the same folks that did Arafel. Arafel Enhanced Edition. So compound that Arafel, which is a shorter RPG. I think Arafel is about a 10 to 15 hour romp. Again, let's take a peek here. Arafel Enhanced Edition. It's better than that. So yeah, I said 10 to 15 hours. But yeah, I think it's better than that Metacritic score. You can see the users have given it an 8.2. And the Metacritic is at 70, 69, or 70. I think it's better than that. But yeah, Rise of the Third Power, they do a lot more things. It's a skill-based turn-based RPG, meaning you don't have ordinary attack, defend. You still have defend, but in what it does is it replaces those with skills and mana, hold my quotes up, mana cost, things of that nature. But Rise of the Third Power, narratively, it's a little bit better as well. So you can see by the Metacritic score. I mean, I don't like to go by aggregate scores, but I got nothing else right now to go on. So Metacritic score, it is a 78. Let's call it an 80, with a user score at 9.2. Same look and feel, with I think a slight edge on graphics with the Rise of the Third Power. It's got a cool story. It's kind of like your alternative history type of deal with World War III, maybe. So definitely it's better. It's better written. I think the gameplay is better, and it just looks a little bit better. So definitely check out Rise of the Third Power. What else does Ben have here? Did he say anything else? No. Okay. So not so favorite. He has Eggly Rebirth. I didn't even think he played this fully. he totally, did he review this? No, he didn't even review it. So Eggly Rebirth, if you're like, wow, that looks like Trials of Mana or Legend of Mana, that's because it's, again, after feeling bitter about my experience with Legend of Mana, I decided to give Eggly a rebirth. I decided to give Eggly a rebirth, a game in the similar vein, produced by some of the same developers, a try. While I only played a couple hours, so you didn't play it, a couple hours of this game, that was enough time to already see the writing on the wall. Mobile roots were not shaken off enough, despite the fresh coat of paint, design, and the new price tag. So, yeah, this is a rough one for him. I mean, not that I was interested in it. I wasn't a fan of Legend of Mana. I played it on the PlayStation. Yeah, I think it was PlayStation. Not a fan of all the mana games. It's one that probably could have used kind of a reimagining. It was not so good. Speculative favorite, Rune Factory 5. I don't know. We'll see. Especially when you have these games. You have Atelier Sophie, which I thought he played already. I'm not entirely sure. So he has a Rune Factory 5, Triangle Strategy, Live Alive, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So those are just, again, some of the games that we know about, and we kind of went over that as well. So in terms of what my speculative favorite is, it's without a doubt Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But we gotta wait a while. We gotta wait quite a while. Triangle Strategy, I literally just opened it today. I got the Tacticians Edition today. I have yet to play it. I played the demo, obviously, and that progress will carry over, but I have yet to really play the real version. So that potentially could be my RPG so far, but the problem is I haven't played it. So because I didn't really prepare well for this, we're going to look back in time for this year. I think you can actually sort it by this year. Perfect. So we're going to look back and see for 2022 what my current RPG of the year is. I'm going to show all in one page. Again, I'm on DQDeals, DQDeals.com. And 2022 has been a little light for me. I've actually been playing more on Xbox than I have. I know, blasphemy. I've been playing more on Xbox than I have playing on the Switch. It's been weak sauce year. It has really been a weak sauce year. So let's start in January. Like, tell me when you see something you like. Please stop me. I was really excited for Reverie Nights until I played it. It's okay. It's okay. It does nothing special. It does nothing different. It's a tactical RPG. The characters are boring. There's some cool skills. Very plain Jane. Really does nothing special. So I was really excited for that. Not so good. Pokemon Legends, I mean, I technically did not play it. So yeah, could that be it? Maybe. I watched along, I guess. Dying Light 2, I did not play the cloud version. I played this on, I didn't even think this was out cloud version. Thought they delayed it. Anyway, I played this on Xbox. I played almost I almost completed it on Xbox. So again, meh. You know, Rise of the Third Power, I did not play it. Ben played that. He did like it. Reviewed well. Not for me. Ocean's Heart. This is another one of those indie Zelda RPG-esque games. Not for me. Is this one a pixel art? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so it's a pixel art, kind of like your Link to the Past type of game. Again, it's just not my thing. Not for me. Kingdom Hearts cloud versions, yeah, you guys can go fly a kite. Eglia Rebirth, we talked about a little bit. Voice of Cards, I will say that these games are good. Oh, at least I played the demo of it and it was good. I have not played it, other than the demo. Edge of Eternity, that's a cloud-based game. I played this early access on Steam. It was okay. Again, nothing great. Monarch, this is NAS America. NAS America. It's getting I think it's getting a little bit of review bombed. It's better than the user score of 4.8. And maybe a little bit better on the Metacritic side as well, 62. It might be a 7-ish game. But, you know, Monarch, it's a meh. It's not a great game. Atelier Sophie, not my thing. Triangle Strategy, from what I played on the demo, this probably is my RPG of the year so far, and I only played the demo. Has this gotten some Metacritic scores here? 82, 8.2 user. So it's reviewing really well. What else we got? So we're basically done for this year. Did I go over anything that people were wanting to play? Unlikely. It's been a good year for other consoles. I've been playing a ton of Elden Ring. I've been playing a ton of Dying Light 2. Major games on a different game system. Now, it's not to say that the rest of the year will be bad. Yeah, it's not to say. So Rich says he'll have his Ocean's Heart on the review at some point. Yeah, it's pixel art on the site very soon. So that'll be up on the site. Young Souls. I literally just put a video up on this today. I want to say this reviewed well on other consoles. So it's to be determined on the Switch. This has already been released. Let's see here. Rich also says, yeah, Nintendo Switch is getting Kirby next week, but that is not an RPG. Is it? Is it? Let's be honest with ourselves here. So this is coming out on all the systems. It's already out on there. So let's see what it's on Xbox. So it's an 80. 80-ish. 80s, 9s, that sort of stuff. Where's the actual score? Did I miss that? So there's no score yet. They don't have enough critic reviews. But from what I know, Young Souls is fairly decent. If you're if you're a fan of the side scroll and beat 'em ups, that sort of stuff, Young Souls is definitely one you're gonna want to look at. I have a game preview on the channel. Not an RPG though, but big game for the Switch. Definitely a big game. Usually Kirby games define the ends of consoles. It's usually one of the last games to come out on Nintendo Switch consoles. So I was kind of nervous when I saw that was getting getting released. I'll go over all the overall Nintendo Switch catalog here. Big games I'm talking. So Dark Deity, that's again a game I talked about earlier. That's a Fire Emblem advanced type of game. Cruel King and the Hero, this is kind of a mediocre game as well, for the Switch. NAS America. Rune Factory 5, this is a port over from the Western version. I'm hearing mixed things about Rune Factory 5, so just wait for that one. Crystar, I haven't heard anything on Crystar. I know that Evan on our site is reviewing it. I haven't heard anything. Well, I'll have some gameplay at some point. But it definitely looks like your Persona clone that you got at the dollar store. What else we have? Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition. I don't know. I feel like this is kind of a waste of time. Waste of time, indeed. Yeah, granted, the Radical Dreamers Edition is cool and all. The Radical Dreamers, that part is essentially just a visual novel. There's really no real gameplay involved in that. The music is great. The gameplay sucks, in my opinion. The gameplay is not the greatest. Visually, what did they really do, honestly? They still have the same aspect ratio. It really looks like just a port over. I mean, obviously there's some work over involved in that, but it's again not my game. Fire Emblem Warriors, maybe I'll dip my toes in that. Maybe. As I've said, I like what they're doing with the series, the Warriors series. They're really heavily going on the narrative. I could see a lot of people not liking it, but whatever. Xenoblade, Live Alive. I think this will be on some lists for anticipated games. Live Alive. It's got the HD 2D. It's got the near future, the future, the past, the Western, different settings. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know. I know it's turn-based, but I need to see a little bit more. But you know, I'm sure it'll run really fine. I'm sure it'll run well. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is probably, you can pretty much pencil that in for my RPG of the year. There, I said it. You can pencil it in. Sea of Stars, though, that's coming in at the last second for you know, honorable mention. I really feel that if you like Chrono Trigger, this is really heavily inspired by Chrono Trigger. In fact, I think they even got the composer for this that did Chrono Trigger. Really cool looking, dynamic. You can't really see it from the still shots, but really cool dynamic lighting, nice parallax scrolling, beautiful done pixel artwork. This is going to be a real good game. And someone in the chat mentioned previously that they're hoping for a physical version. I really hope it gets a collector's touch here, a collector's edition. But that is my kind of. I haven't even looked at Scarlet and Violet. The Pokemon Direct thing happened, and I was so out of the loop on that. I was just not paying attention. The only thing I heard of is that someone said that this is inspired by Portugal, which really has me intrigued. Because I myself am Portuguese. So I'm interested in what inspirations they took from it, from the country. So, yeah, I'll have to read more into it. I don't want to talk out my rear end here, not knowing anything. I mean, I've seen the restarters, and some people like them, some people don't. That happens with every single time they announce starters. People get all bent out of shape about it. So if you're listening to this, I'd like for you guys to, you know, jot down your 5 RPGs of each year. I think that'd be really cool. Let's see. Again, just for the sake of, I'm just gonna go to DQ deals. We're gonna go to one last thing I want to do. Rich in the comments mentioned Kirby. That is a major release for Nintendo. Browse games. I just want to see what else they have coming for the Switch. But RPGs, it's been a weak year so far. Anyways, release date. Where am I going? Release date. So Advanced Wars kind of got pushed back. Bayonetta 3 still have no idea on a release date. I'm looking for big games here. Mario plus Rabbids. The first one was really good. They're doing something a little bit different with the battle system. So we'll see how that goes. Neon White. Is this an NIS? Oh, Annapurna. This really, actually, now that it says that, reminds me of, what was the other game they did? Ashen. That's it. It reminds me a little bit of Ashen. Screenshots. This was in a direct, so we'll want to keep an eye on Neon White. Oxenfree 2, that was also in a direct. People are going to want to watch that. Splatoon 3, that is a major release. Not so much here, but everywhere else. TMNT, Shredder's Revenge. I'm in on this one. I am in on this one for sure. This might even have some RPG elements. Maybe not. I'm looking at maybe not. I think this is strictly beat 'em up. I love it. I absolutely love it. Looking big releases. 2 Point Campus. Nah. Nintendo Switch gets its own sports version. Finally, Nintendo Switch Sports. Nursing homes will be proud. We'll be really happy everywhere. What else we got here? Defend the Rook. Where are those big games? MLB The Show. That is actually a big deal. Coming to the Switch. Big deal. There's your Kirby's. That's coming out the end of this month. So we got a little bit of work to get to Kirby. All right, that is actually going to do it for today. I've been going live here for quite a while. I might what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to end this this Switch RPG show, and then I'm actually going to stream a little bit later. I'm not sure if I'm going to do Triangle Strategy or if I'm going to do Dark Deity. I don't know. I might just do Triangle Strategy. I think. I don't know. I do want to mention, Rich also says we had an RPG coming in Advanced Wars, but it was delayed. Yeah, it was obviously delayed. So we don't know when that is coming at all. So yeah, like I said, that's going to do it for today. If you want to just stick around, maybe I'll have I'll start back on the live stream, or I might just call it a night. What do you guys want? What do you guys want? I mean, tell me. Give me an idea. Give me an idea. Let me just see here. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure if I want to stream. I really want to I want to play Dark Deity, but I think I just want to do kind of a limited Let's Play on it. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna call it a night. I want to thank everyone for watching me. If you're watching this on chat, on replay, leave your comments down below on what you liked for the 5 years of the Nintendo Switch's release. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit Switchrpg for all your RPG needs on the Nintendo Switch. As always, thanks for watching and listening. Goodbye.